Hello, all. Welcome to The Model Way with your host, myself, Lenny Wheeler. I'm super excited about being here. I hope you guys are having a fantastic evening. This is going to be a great show for you. Look, I got a really special treat for me, and I've got my good friend and model, former model, beautiful, extraordinaire Miss Baylee Williams coming onto the show right now. She's amazing. I've known her for a long time. I met her when she was in Amarillo, and she was I think she was 14 at the time. She's a little in her 20s now, and just wanted to kind of talk her through her journey and kind of see how she's been, where she's been, and where she's going, and how she's doing overall in general. And so I'm super excited. A couple of notes that I want to kind of go over real quick. I want to make sure you guys are understanding that we do have Fashion Week coming up here in September. Get your books together. You want to get everything together to your agencies. If you haven't submitted to an agency, now's the time to do it for the New York Fashion Week, for Paris, Milan, and London. Those are the major fashion weeks, and also LA's coming up pretty soon too. So we got also New York Bridal Week coming up, I think in October, and also Dallas Fashion Week coming up in New York. Dallas Fashion Week coming up in actually October. So get your stuff in. If you haven't done that already, now's, like I said, is the time to do that. But right now I want to just pause because I just really am excited about this because I get to see my friend, and I haven't seen her in a couple of years, and she's super awesome, guys. I want you guys to introduce you to Baylee. And she's going to be coming on here in a second. So we're going to bring her right into the room and welcome our guest, Miss Baylee Williams. Miss Baylee, how are you?
Great. How are you?
You know, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. It's kind of warm outside. So I'm like, I was like, man, I got to get in here and drink me a refreshment and kind of just get the show going and
yes, this
take a little
Texas
sip
heat
there
is
and
no
everything.
joke.
How you been?
I've been great. Been staying really, really busy with school. I'm in school to be an esthetician now, so I absolutely love it.
Right. That's cool. That's super exciting because really, I mean, it's been a minute since I've seen you, and I kind of wanted to let everybody know how you and I had met. And I kind of gave them a brief overview of what happened when I first met you. When I think you weren't you like 14 when I met you?
I was 16, 17. I want to say I had just turned 16. It seems like 14. I mean, it's been so long, but it was about 16, 17. I was turning 17, I think.
Well,
I had just turned 17.
Kind of tell us a little bit about how that started. I mean, what actually happened when we actually met? Tell them where we were at, what we were doing, and all that good stuff. We're going to kind of get that. I'm going to interject as well.
So I was working with an agency, with the Anderson Model and Talent Agency in Amarillo, Texas. I had told my mom that I wanted to do modeling when I was about 16. I actually didn't get started until I was 17. They called me to do a little fashion show at the mall. Went and did that, and then they were impressed with me, and so they told me about the Model and Talent Expo. And so I started training for that to do the modeling and acting. And in the meantime, you came in to take our headshots. We ended up, the very first time me and you shot together, we actually got published in a magazine, Like a Lion, in Australia. So that was pretty exciting. A really big confidence booster right there.
Yeah, it really was. I remember that because when we were actually coming there, and I think I got the call from Cheryl because I had known Cheryl many years before that, right? Like I started acting myself with Cheryl Anderson at the Anderson Model and Talent Agency. So you actually went to a actual showcase, I think, at the mall in Amarillo, correct? And they spotlighted you, and they were like, man, we got to have this girl on our roster. And you ended up signing up with them and getting some training with her. And how long did that training last for you when you did that?
I trained from, I want to say it was about 4 or 5 months.
Right.
4 or 5 months, maybe 6 before I went to the actual expo in Dallas. They taught me how to do my walking, my headshots. They helped me get my portfolio together. And by the time I got to the expo in Dallas, I was ready for the most part, but I learned a lot actually being around other models in the industry, other actors. And I took a lot of the stuff that I learned there then I still carry with me to this day.
That's absolutely fantastic. I really like the fact that when you did all this preparation, you went to a model and talent expo. And I remember when Cheryl called me in, and we, like you said, we got published the first time we went around, And I mean, I remember that day.
Yeah.
And I remember like we were outside in the studio, or outside of Cheryl Anderson's office, and we were walking up and down the streets. And I think I had like you and somebody, a couple other models with me, and we were like,
Uh-huh.
I was sweating, and you guys were wanting to shoot. And I was like, I got to rest, and we got some shots, man. I mean, I think
That's
I
all we
think
ever wanted to do.
yeah. And we got up there and we just got the shots, right? Like, so we were shooting, and I think I spent like half my day with you, and then like half the day with like 7 other girls, but it was still good,
Yeah,
right? Like,
no, you did.
we went to, if I remember, it was hot down there. We were going down the, like, on, what's the name of that street down on, I forgot the name of that street. It was, it's not Amarillo Boulevard, is it? What street is that on? Anyways, like on one of the downtown streets where Cheryl's office is,
Uh-huh.
there's restaurants, there's shopping centers,
Oh,
there's shopping
6th Street.
stores. 6th Street, yeah. So it's it's the 6th Street of Amarillo, kind of like Austin, Texas, but a little bit more, settled down a little bit. But what's really cool is we got to go around and do a lot of things out there and kind of get to know each other and stuff like that. And we kind of developed a relationship over that time frame. And then we kind of, after we did that, I started going to the expo with you guys, and then we just started making it happen, right? So tell us a little bit about the expo, right?
So the Model and Talent Expo that's held in Dallas, Texas, twice a year. It's held in November and then again in June. You go and there's about anywhere from about 50 to 60 agents, all from all over the world,
Yeah.
Hong Kong, Tokyo, LA, New York, Atlanta, Florida, Miami, everywhere, anywhere you can think of. We've got agents coming in from there. They have them for acting, singing, songwriting, modeling, dancing, all different types of stuff. So with that being said, you get to meet tons of different people. I've met people that played the Red Power Ranger, Elsa,
Yes, I remember
from
that.
Frozen. Yeah, there's tons of people. It's been really, really neat. I've even had a friend that she went on to be a high fashion model, and then she ended up being in an episode of Law and Order SVU, Victoria.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah, so
yes.
that's pretty
Victoria.
cool. So it's opened a lot of doors for her. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it opened doors for them too, but it did open doors for you, and I think you got a lot out of it. Like
Oh,
when you
yeah.
first started, because I think that you
Oh,
had
yeah.
to get a lot of, the maturity level had to get there for anybody, right? Like when you're 16, 17, you're going out, you really want to do things really bad, right? And it's like, I got to start now,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like, but no, let's slow down a little bit. We got a little ways to go before we get there, but it's a
Yeah.
process. And as a mother agent myself, I'm constantly having to teach people to slow the process down, because everybody wants it now, right? But you have to wait. You
Yeah.
have to get that maturity levels down, and
You have to be patient.
super patience. And
Yeah.
sometimes you get things that happen and they get in your head a little bit, and you start thinking about things different because somebody else is moving a little faster than you, and you're not, and it's like you're sitting there, it's like, what's going on? And so you have to kind of go through that stage, don't you?
Oh yeah, I've been to Expo a couple of times. The first time I went, I got first place in high fashion. I got
Right.
runner up on another competition, and then I got something else for another category. I don't exactly remember what it was. And then another year I went and I got some callbacks. I didn't get chosen for the fashion show, which getting chosen for the fashion show is a pretty big deal for the showcase night. And then the years after that, I had gotten chosen for it. But I mean, it's a roller coaster. So it started good, then it went down, and then it got good again, and then it went back down. I received 2 scholarships to New York, one to the New York Conservatory and one to the New York Film Academy for acting. So with that being said, I never would have even considered doing acting if I hadn't gotten into modeling and gone to the showcase and seen other opportunities. I tried out and ended up receiving 2 scholarships, so that
Right.
was really neat, and I never would have had those opportunities if I had not given it a chance and gone for it. But also now I feel more confident when speaking in front of people. It's given me a different type of confidence that I didn't have before.
Right.
Just receiving those scholarships and being like, hey, you memorized this monologue and you became another person for 5 minutes and you kicked butt.
Man, and you did, man. And I'm very fortunate because I got to kind of go through that journey with you, right? Like, and me being
Yeah,
another agent.
no, you
and
were
kinda-
there, and yes, you've
Yes.
been there through all the times I've cried, been mad,
Mm,
you name it, all my emotions. And It's a lot, but it's one of the most rewarding industries I've been in, and I wouldn't change it any other way. And I think that's part of why I really enjoy doing the aesthetics is because I'm still in the beauty industry and
Right.
helping other girls with their acne and their skin, trying to fix their imperfections so that they can go on and do what they love.
No, that's
And for
absolutely
me, that was
fantastic.
modeling and acting.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's absolutely fantastic because I tell people all the time, you may not make the big show, or, as they say, or get somewhere like you're really wanting to get there, but at the end of the day, if you know you did your best and you got out there and you did it and you got through life, you're getting through life and you got into a place to where you're actually in a better place than where you were when you were 16, 17 years old, right? Like, so now I
Uh-huh.
look back and it's like, okay, what do you think that, I mean, gosh, that's just crazy, but what do you think you could have done different, or is there anything that you would regret not doing when you were coming up in the business?
Just keeping my head down, staying more focused, trusting
Yeah.
the process. Trust the
Yeah, that's
process,
important.
and I'm the type that if I don't have it right now, I'm gonna figure out how to get it. And, whether that means, you don't feel like your agent is doing enough work for you at the time. They know what's best for you in the long run. So just be patient. Don't go out there and don't go looking for work. And unless it's just absolutely, I mean, unless absolutely nothing is going on and that agent is not doing anything for you as well as anyone else, then I suggest seeking and looking for someone else that you might work better with. That doesn't mean they're a bad agent, just maybe not the right fit for you.
Right. That's
But
good.
keep your head down and trust them because they know what they're doing and it's their job. And if you trust the process, you're going to get there. It may not be tonight, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be in 5 years, it could be 10 years from now, but it's coming. You just have to trust it. And that was always hard for me. I was like, no, like, but I don't see you doing this for me. Like, you're not, but you did this for her and she started
Right.
after I did,
Right.
and so
Right.
you just you just got to pray and keep your head down and, just trust. That's the
Right.
biggest thing.
You say that too, and it's a really good thing because, like, sometimes, they don't, sometimes they don't feel like people are doing all they can for you or whatever, but I don't think a lot of people see the back end of it either, right? Like, they don't know the heartaches that you go through as an agent or a manager, trying to deal with agencies because sometimes they don't get back with you, right? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
I sent you guys 10 emails and why aren't you responding to me? Well, that tells me two things, right? That tells me one, they didn't get the email, or number two, they just didn't care for the email, right? Like, so they won't bother to tell you,
Right.
and you have to just keep searching. And then if that's the case, you just move on to the next one, right? Like, so I have to teach that.
Right.
So that's part of the patience that comes with it. And sometimes people don't work out together. Like, I've had the same thing happen to me. Like, I've had several people that come and go, and it's just part of
Right.
that process when you're dealing with that and everything. What I mean, so you got to come. So when I remember, like, when you were there, like, you were doing it, like, you were in the mix of it, right? Like, you were like right there. And I remember you shooting with Yvonne. Remember Yvonne Taylor? You got to shoot with her at that
Oh, she's
apartment.
amazing.
She gave me
Yes,
some
it
of the
was
best
so
stuff that
fun.
I've ever seen in my life. Kind of tell me about what happened at that studio what you guys shot, and kind of what happened with that.
Just her eye, the way that she has a different eye for things. Even her stylist, the way she styled out our outfits, it was just amazing. So it was fun to work with someone who's experienced, who's been working with other commercial print, editorial models, high fashion models. It was really neat to take that experience and to get to work with someone like that. I was very, very fortunate to do that. She's fantastic. I would love to work with her again in the future. That would be super, super amazing. Um, but just, it was she's very calm. It's very relaxed when shooting with her.
Yeah.
She makes you feel comfortable. It wasn't high stress, she's just very calm. And I feel like with her being calm, she is easy to work with. And then your pictures they're so phenomenal. And I just looked so relaxed in all of my pictures. But
Yeah.
what I like about her style is it's the way she shoots is something different from anyone else that I have ever seen.
Right.
And so I think that's very important to shoot with different types of people to build your portfolio, to show the different types of looks you can do. to
No,
get
that's
you to be able to book you for more jobs. I can do this look, I can do this look, I can do this look. And I kind of felt like a little porcelain doll when shooting
yeah,
with her, you know. It was real
yeah.
soft. It was
You're
just, it was beautiful.
it was crazy because I wasn't really managing. I was kind of managing you like part time a little bit, half and half with your actual manager. But it was like I got to go see
Right,
you like that first time. I was super proud when I saw you in that those nice, beautiful garments that she had on, and it was really cool because we were in
right.
that apartment and we were looking at this neat apartment, and it was like, man, this is cool, man. And like he had all the light. I remember all the lights were in there, and they had those real tall ceilings and the kind of
Yes.
a staircase that went up. It was
A
like a
staircase.
yeah, it was like a real cool penthouse, and I think you and
It
Victoria
was.
Seabrooks was there, and was this Victoria Seabrooks
Yep.
there? I think it. Yeah, so she's in New York right now, and she's just all over
Yeah,
the
she's the
place.
one that I was talking about doing the TV and the modeling and all that. So that was
Yeah,
really cool to be able to have worked with her, you know.
yeah, and she's still doing it, right? Like I saw her doing something with one of the
Oh yeah.
photographers that I know up there in New York, and I was like, damn, that's Victoria. She's actually
Yes.
moving, and so that was really
Yeah,
really
she's
cool.
up
That
there.
Yeah, she's really up there. So she's got really pretty hair, really pretty smile, and she's just a phenomenal person to deal
She's
with and
beautiful.
everything.
So kind.
Yes, and so kind. So like, maybe one
Hmm.
day I'll have her on the show
Very
too and kind of
humble.
visit with her. What's that?
Yes. I said she's very humble. That's a good word.
And she will reach out, like she will talk to you, like she's not afraid to talk to somebody and just say, "Hey, how are
Hmm.
you?" and then just go from there, which is really cool. That I really like about her.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you too. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people that do things like freelance modeling and then agency representation. And I was having a good conversation with my friend about that. And I think, what is your thoughts on that? What do you think about what's the difference? What do you think would be better, like freelance or just actually getting agency representation?
I would say definitely if you're trying to make a career out of modeling and you want to take it to the next level and be more professional, I think it's great to have someone represent you.
Hmm.
That way you're not dealing with, I've come across people that I don't want to say they're scamming, but they're just not reputable to work with. They're just someone random from wherever and they want to
Right.
shoot with you, but that doesn't always mean it's in the best interest for you.
No,
So
yeah.
with being represented by someone with an agency, they're going to make sure that that it's fair. You get your pictures, you get your cut of the money. They're going to
Right.
take a small portion of it, but you know that it's going to be handled accordingly. If you're freelancing, it's by yourself, and you may not get paid, you may not receive your
Right.
pictures, and you have nobody else to back you and to be behind you on that. As
Right.
well with that, you can get into a really sticky situation just being young and vulnerable, just getting into the industry,
Hmm.
and you don't know what anybody wants from you. You know, this world is scary. So I always tell girls, you can't just go take photos with anybody. You
No,
don't
and you
know
can't.
what's going to happen. It's
Right.
very dangerous,
Yeah, it
you
really
know?
is. And so I think sometimes having an agent or a manager or some kind of person that's
Yeah.
directing you is kind of always a good thing. Well, I have a friend of mine. She's actually a director for this software company, right? But it's in the modeling industry for like software for booking software and stuff like that. But she used to run major
Right.
model management in New York, right? Like she was like the director, and Kasha
Oh,
Sherman's like
wow.
just amazing, right? Like, but she gives me really good advice. But we were talking about that, and like, you look, if you're really wanting the big stuff, and the stuff that's you can't get, like you can't get it from the streets. Like you're not going to walk for
Yeah.
usually 9 times out of 10 you're not going to walk for Vera Wang. You're just coming off the streets, right? Like you're gonna need agency
Right.
representation because they're gonna give you the best dollar amount. They're gonna
Right.
get you the best negotiations. They're gonna get you in front of the casting directors. Those are huge opportunities. So you have to kind of weigh that balance. So
Right.
most independent models or freelance models, if they're shooting, it's just shoots, or they're doing some back alley runway show and they're not making anything, right? And so that's
Right.
they got to be careful with that. So like if you get these, you get to go to the casting calls. Now the rejection's real. You get a lot of rejection, man. I mean from everywhere.
Yep.
And so Bailey, what
Yep.
people don't
I've heard
understand,
it for
yes,
years.
yes, and you get the rejection and you hit it, like it gets to you, but it hits your agencies a lot more harder. Like if you got a manager, sometimes they don't even tell you. Like I get the rejections, but I don't tell anybody because it just will kill them. And so I have to be mindful of that. But that's part of the journey that you go through when you're dealing with that, and it just makes more sense to do it that way. But yeah, that's cool. So right now you're right this second, I guess you're going to esthetician school and you're getting that
I
ready.
am.
And how's that working out for you right now?
I absolutely love it. You can ask Lenny for as long as he's known me. I've wanted my skin perfect. That's all I worry about. If I have the smallest blemish, to me, it's the biggest blemish, and I want it gone, and I want it gone now. In modeling, it's a big, crucial part for your skin to look as good as it can be. You need to have a clear face so that they can see. If they see you with a clear face, they know that what they can do. They know that they can build your face, they can cake it up with makeup, they can make you look any type of way they want. So your skin needs to be ready 24/7. You need to have clear, beautiful skin. Does that work for everyone? It doesn't. So that's what I want to study. I want to help other people feel better in their skin. I want to figure out what triggers acne, why this person might have rosacea, why this person has dry, flaky skin, and they're using all these moisturizers and nothing is helping. I think what drives me crazy is the amount of money I spent going to Ulta or Sephora
Yeah.
while I'm doing modeling, trying to be an upcoming model, and them telling me, throw this on your face, throw this on your face. Now that I'm in school, everything they were telling me to put on my face has made my face 10 times worse. So, at the end of the day, I want to help anybody with acne, but I really want to be able to help the girls that are up and coming in the modeling industry, because I didn't have that. I didn't have someone to talk to tell me, hey, if you keep doing this, this, and this, it's only going to make your skin worse.
Yeah.
Or, there's other girls that are going out there and they're going to all these medical spas and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with a med spa, but they're going to charge you for an arm and a leg, and it may not even be the right treatment that's
Right.
good for you.
Well,
So I just
think
want to
that,
make sure that I can be as authentic for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. Well, and I think that just actually, when you actually come along with this business and you're actually, eating healthy and, but positively, right? Like, you don't need to starve yourself, correct? You know that. But like when you're
Right.
eating good and you're drinking a lot of water and you're just being natural and get the natural beauty out, I think that makes a huge difference. But a lot of these young people now, they want to, slap with it. Social media has just gone crazy because of all the stuff that's out there, like OnlyFans and all these social media outlets where people are making money and the Brazilian butt lifts and stuff like that. So they teach this fake euphoria that's just not real, right? Like, so like when you're actually taking care of your skin naturally and eating plant-based stuff and whole foods and organic, your skin's naturally going to do what it needs to do.
Right.
It's going to exfoliate on its own. It's going to soften up on its own. It's going to keep you looking young. And it's just
Right.
that's just super important. I think that's one thing that I think that you're going to be able to bring to your new field as far as teaching people that portion of the business.
Yes.
You can be a consultant, like a modeling consultant.
Yeah,
and say, hey, look,
exactly.
this is the deal. You guys, you got to stop. And
Yeah,
they told me this all the
exactly.
time, but now I'm not listening. I used to not listen, but now I know. So it's all good.
Right. Yes.
But
No,
Bailey,
I
you
completely
really always had
agree.
really good skin. Like I've really always looked at you like,
Thank
damn,
you.
this looks so pretty, and your skin was just soft and just beautiful, and there was nothing going on. You were just super, super young, and it was just amazing. It was just beautiful. But that's super, super exciting for you that you're actually doing this school and stuff like that. What was your most enjoyable moment about modeling?
Oh man, there's just something about being on the runway. I mean, there's a few things, but like being on the runway, I just feel so powerful when I'm walking, wearing someone else's clothes, and everyone's looking at the clothes and just admiring them. There's no bigger adrenaline rush than when you're walking. I mean, it might be 20 seconds long, if that, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But those are the best 20 seconds that you train so hard for.
Yeah.
Just for that little adrenaline rush, and then even being in front of the camera, you might take 300 pictures and you might get about maybe 4. You might get a little bit more than that, but you're going to get about 4 that are just like, oh my gosh, that's it. And you see everything that you worked so hard for. The camera doesn't lie. The camera's raw. It's going to see stuff that the naked eye can't see. And to see everything and all the hard work that you put in to see your results, it's one of the best feelings, and it was one of the most rewarding industries that I've been in, and I love it, and I don't ever want to be out of the beauty fashion industry. It's just, and it's full of a lot of people that are uplifting, a lot of caring people I've met some of
Yeah.
the nicest people that I still keep in contact with to this day, and some that are my best friends, and it's been it's been one of the best decisions that I have made by far.
No, and it's not like you're not an old person at all, man. I mean, I'm gonna do a podcast on this, and
I'm
and
getting close.
no, you're not. I mean, it's never late. I have a whole show on that. Like, is it when is it too late? I mean, realistically, here's the deal. Like, you're gonna have a lot of different. There's a lot of entities in the modeling business, right? There's a very small percentage that are doing high fashion. I think it's like under 20%, right? Like the rest of it's all mostly
Oh,
commercial
yeah.
modeling. And so like with that,
Hmm.
like women, did you know women over 30 and 40 get more work than younger people? Did you know that?
I believe it. I definitely do. I feel like a bunch of the ladies that were older than me by 10 years or so, I feel like they always got work or they got signed to agencies faster than I did. And I'm like, what the heck?
Right.
But you got to look at the one thing. And once I accepted this, it changed everything for me. And I didn't get as butt hurt, I guess is a good way to say it.
Right.
But just because someone doesn't want you doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're too fat. It doesn't
That's
mean
good.
you're ugly. It doesn't mean you can't walk right. All it means is they might have been looking for someone with green eyes and dark hair, but they want that hair up here above. And your hair
Right.
comes down here. Can they cut your hair? Yeah, they can cut your hair. But if they've already got a girl next to you that has the short hair with the green eyes, they're going to go with her.
Right.
Um, and so once you accept that it's not you, that there's different things that these agencies are looking for, it makes it so much easier to swallow the no's, and my teacher always tells me, he says, you need to eat no's for breakfast because you're gonna hear
I like that. I'm using
you're
it.
gonna hear 100 no's. Yeah, I love it. You're gonna hear 100 no's before you hear one yes. And so, with that being said, once, in Cosmo School, that has helped me. They push us to sell retail, and I think I haven't got the results in, but last time I checked, I sold the most retail out of the whole
Wow.
entire school, out of all the schools. And I think there's about 5 or 6 other campuses besides
Wow.
us. So
Wow.
that's pretty exciting. That's pretty cool. But do you know how many no's I had to hear about, taking people to the counter after, and they tell me they want their skin to be better, so I recommend this, and
Right.
we get up there, they ask how much it is. No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you just gotta, once you get that through your head, it's not me, I'm not what they were looking for. It makes it so much easier because I used to think it was me. I used to think I wasn't good enough, and it's not that I'm not good enough. I'm just not what they're looking for at the time.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the point because I think a lot of people take it personal
Yeah.
when they're doing this. And like when they're doing that, they take it personal and it's like, she's better than me. No, she's not better than you. It's because
Yeah.
that client had a specific look they were looking for. You didn't fit their look. It wasn't because, I mean, there's probably 20 other people that are actually doing that. But did you have that specific look for that client? You probably didn't.
Right.
Get it out of your head, right? And so like that's what
Right.
you have to get past, and you just have to keep moving forward because like you said, you're gonna see 100 no's before you see that one yes. And I'm glad that you're saying
Right.
that now. You've matured a lot, and you can actually see that and go from there. And I wish sometimes I can just instill that in some of the people that are with me at times. Like it doesn't happen that way, just like that so fast. So thank you for saying that and just kind of reiterating that because it's a super important part of the piece of the puzzle that when you're trying to grow in the business, and that's just absolutely amazing. Is there something that you would tell somebody what would you tell somebody? What would you tell the old Baylee, like the 16-year-old Baylee? What would you tell her today?
Be patient, believe in yourself, and don't give up. Just keep pushing. And I think that was, there was so many emotions. My parents had just separated. My
Right.
dad had moved my senior year. I was 16 turning 17 going into my senior year. So I was quite a bit younger than everybody. So I feel like if I could just go back, I would tell myself, be patient and don't be so hard on yourself
Right.
and love yourself and stop comparing yourself to other people,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and you have to do that. And you did have a lot going on. I remember, I think your parents had separated, and then all of a sudden you're your granny
My
passed
grandma.
away, and that
Mm-hmm.
was hard. I mean, she was a great lady, you know, and I don't want to try to get
I was
emotional on the
very
show,
close
but
to her.
and you were super close to her, you and your brother, and I was like, dang, but
Yes.
you get through those things, and I mean that's just part of life, and you have to just move
Right.
on with things like that. But I remember her being like there, like on the first time we were shooting, right? Like I remember she was there, and she was
Yep.
excited about the pictures, and she was like kind of a really big support for you too, as well as your
She
mother and
was huge.
everything, and that was a
Yes.
huge part of it. Man, I want to take it back. I
Yeah.
wish you could just like rewind the clock a little bit and just be like, I would have did this
Oh, I
different. Like
know.
even for me, like I would have did things different too. Like I don't think I would have, like even with managing, I think I would have just kept it smaller. I wouldn't have tried to grow so big so fast. I think I would have just did little by little and kept 4 or 5 people at a
Right.
time, and then I think that would have made me grow a lot more. But hey, the funny thing is, the cool thing is, Bailey, you're here. Like it's you've learned, and it's part of life. You go through
Yeah.
lessons and traumas and all these stuff, and how you overcome those traumas dictates the rest of your life, right? Like so, overcoming
Exactly.
what you did was just absolutely amazing, and it's super super exciting for you and everything. But that's good though. But like your
Thank
family's
you.
good, everybody's good, and everybody's doing good, and you're about when. So when do you graduate?
I graduate in October. I am super excited about the middle, almost to the end of October. So I'm super excited. I can't wait to be out here and to help other people, and that's always been my biggest thing. I want to be able to, even if you don't come to see me,
Yeah.
I want y'all to be able to follow me on my social medias and just listen to what I have to say. And I like to give out informative information and, just free information, little things to help you. And I like to be positive, and I think
Hmm.
it's important that you surround yourself around positive people with positive things. This world is already dark enough,
Yeah.
and it's easy to get down on yourself and then to get into a little funk and to fall out. But, have a, like for me, I like to get up, I like to go work out, I like to eat healthy, I like to
Mm,
go to bed early. I don't like to stay up late anymore. I
right.
like to
Right.
stay home where it's safe, and I like to focus on me. And the biggest things I have learned is focusing on me and putting all my energy into me to making myself better
Right.
is what's going to get me to the next level.
No. Yeah.
And if I had just understood that a little bit a long time ago, but I don't regret anything. It's all been a part of God's plan and been like it's supposed to be, you
Right.
know.
Right. That's super huge because like when you're dealing with stuff like that and you're living with life traumas and you go through all these things in your life, you start kind of picking up the pieces as you go. Everybody's trying. No, don't do that. But you got to learn on your own, right? Like you have to go through an experience, and nobody's gonna ever tell you, "I told you so." But that's never happened with you. But you had to learn those lessons on your own and then move forward and just kind of pick up where you left off and be like, okay, this is the way I'm gonna live my life, and this is how it's gonna be, right? With all that said, did you like with all the pictures that you took over the few years that you were doing this? Did you ever have any incidences with any like creepy photographers or anything like that? And how did you adjust
I
it? How did you
definitely
deal with
did.
that? How did you deal with that?
I just stayed true to what I believed in and didn't sway towards what they wanted me to do.
Right.
And then after the shoot, I blocked them and never talked to them again. Never spoke to them.
Did you get your pictures? Or they want?
Not after that last one. I didn't,
I
but
gotcha. I gotcha. I think that's
that's
a big
okay.
thing that people don't talk about a lot. Is that there's some creepies out there, right? Like, and you're gonna get people who are gonna ask you to do stupid stuff. They're
Right,
gonna get you to, we just need you to pose like this, and and they start grooming it, right? Like they'll start doing this, and then they'll start having you take
right,
this off and that off, and then next thing you know, you're full blown naked, right? Like, but that's not the way
right,
everything goes. In most cases, I think believe that most photographers and most artists have clean intentions, but there are those few that get that, and some of them are a little bit weird in different ways because they'll do a really what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of a very implied, but over the top implied, and it's real close to being on the edge, but the pictures can still come out pretty damn good in most cases, But I think
right,
you've got to learn how to set your boundaries with people when you're doing this and kind of getting through those stages so you don't run into any some awkward situations that you just will both feel uncomfortable with. But yeah, that's so cool
right.
that you got through that at least, and you made it through. And then, so when you got done modeling all this stuff. Did you go back to school again? I think you didn't go straight to esthetician school right when you got done, did you?
No, and I didn't really choose to be done. COVID happened, and things were actually like 2020 was supposed to be probably, I guess, the best year for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when everybody was getting married and just all types of celebrations that year. And we had some pretty big things planned for the expo and just for upcoming projects that I was going to do modeling. And with that being said, when the world shut down, I mean, everything stopped. Nobody was working. Everybody was at home. I ate a lot of frozen pizza. Probably the most frozen pizza I've ever eaten in my whole life. I was also a server, and then I quit waiting tables, and because it all went to to-goes, and then I started working at the grocery store. So that really humbled me, and I always think that God does all these certain things and puts us through different tribulations for certain reasons.
Right.
So that was really humbling, but I just haven't, ever since then, I just haven't gotten back into it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that was 4 years ago.
Right.
And I don't think it's too late for me. I want to get back into it, and I feel like I'm finally, I got pretty down during COVID. I think a lot of people did. And then to recover after that was pretty hard, I think, for everyone else, and it's just mentally, it's easy to get depressed and to be anxious about things. But, that's where that working out and sticking on a schedule and eating healthy comes into play and really helps me the most,
Yes. And what's really crazy is people don't understand I love what's coming up in the industry now is people are starting to talk more about mental health and things like that. And how do people overcome it? And I went through this and I went through that. And then, I mean, it can be a pretty lonely place out there when you go through some mental health issues and you run through depression and burnout, and people are doing this and getting in your head, and all these things come to mind, and you're next minute you're on top of the world. The next minute you're laying in bed for hours on end after it's time to get up, right? Like past noon.
Right.
And we've all been there, and people that have dealt with that have come out of the fire. How did you cope with that? How did you get out of that state of just being just blah? Tell us about that.
Obviously, once things went back to normal with COVID, everybody was able to return back to work. But even being at home and stuff during COVID, I just figured out I have to keep myself busy. I have to read positive things. I used to have Snapchat. I don't have Snapchat anymore. I feel like it's filled with a lot of people that, do things go out and party, and that's fine, but I don't want to see the negativity all the time. And so for me to get rid of that helped. I got a new Instagram. So I cleaned up my social media a lot. So now everything that I do follow and watch, it's positive every day. It's something positive. And so it makes me feel in a better mood. I feel more inspired. I have more motivation. I'm like, oh, look at this cute meal that she made. It looks so good. It looks delicious. I want to do that. I want to eat I want to eat better like her. I feel, you get what I'm saying, just more motivated and inspired because I've cleaned up my social medias and the things I surround myself with, the people I surround myself with. I've just become more positive and really just cleaned everything up. And that doesn't mean you don't have to like these people or to love them, but do it from a distance. And, and if that works, that helps me. So if it helps you, and if it doesn't, that may not work for some other people, and that's okay. But that's what works best for me, is surrounding myself and following positive influences every day.
Mm-hmm. I think you can get out of, I think people can lose track of that too. And when they're actually so far, because I talk about those stages, right? So you get when you first come into modeling, you're super excited. You got, you see a future ahead of it, the goals there, everything. Then after that, you got to start putting that work in, right? Okay, we said we got 4 no's, but we need to do this to make the changes, right? You start making the changes, and it's still not good enough, right? And then all of a sudden it goes from being excited and anxious to then it becomes bitter and sweet, bitter more so than anything, and it's bitter. Oh God, I just can't do this anymore. And then you just take a break, and then you see everybody else around you just moving. But realistically, a lot of people go through that phase, and I think it's just a matter of people when they're actually doing this and they're just keeping their foot moving forward after when they get that excitement mode going from the beginning,
Yeah.
like I was saying. You just keep that and you just keep stepping one foot over the other. No matter what comes in your way, it's like the hell with your feelings. Just go for it, right? And you
Keep
have to, like,
going. Yeah.
and keep going. And that's what kills people a lot of times. I think a lot of people get in at 6 or 7 months and then they're just done. Like they just don't want to do it anymore. And
Because nothing
there's too much
happens for
pressure.
them.
And especially with girls,
Yeah.
the girls are going to be out there they're the ones that are pressuring each other. Yeah, they're going to get some support, but it's like there's a challenge with each other, and it's like some kind of a competition. And it's like if you're not better than her, then you're no good, right? Like, and you put yourself
You're no
in that
good.
state, and it can destroy you completely, right? Yeah, so as we were saying, like really mental health is just really a big part of that. And, just coming through those things, if you can get through the mental health thing and keep moving forward and keep one foot in front of the other, you're going to do absolutely fantastic in this business. And that's one of the importance on there. But I'm super excited that we had my guest here, Miss Baylee Williams, on the show. She's been absolutely phenomenal. It's been great to catch up with her and kind of see her in her journey and where she's at right now. But it's been a pleasure. Baylee, I wanted just to ask you before to let our audience know tell us one thing that you can give advice to for a younger model or somebody that's even seasoned. Can you tell us something and give us one last word of advice?
If it's on your heart, go for it. If it's something you still think about, go for it. It's never too late. Just because you heard no 5 years ago doesn't mean you're going to hear no this time. Keep going for it and never stop. Even if you keep hearing no, keep on, because all it takes is one yes.
That's it. Yes. One yes. Guys, really, we thank you. Miss Baylee, we really thank you for coming out. It's been a pleasure getting to see you again, girl. I mean, you're just an amazing person. You're
Thank
always
you.
beautiful to
So
me.
good to
You're
see
my
you.
favorite. I miss you.
Thank you.
And hopefully
I
one
miss
day we
you
can get
too.
together again and maybe come out and you can get some pictures with me or something like that. Just
I'd
come
love
hang out
to.
and barbecue with me or something. And just get
That
to
would
see
be
you again.
awesome.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it? But
Yeah,
I'm glad
let's plan for it.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna make it happen. I'm so glad that you're doing good, and I wish everything's gonna go in your favor. It will, and it already is. So don't ever get discouraged on it. Yes, you can still model. Okay, we just gotta get you together again. But it's all
Yep.
good, right? And so that's
It's
one thing.
great.
Yes. Guys, my name's Lenny Wheeler. This is The Model Way, and we appreciate you coming out. Until next time, hasta luego.